Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel about cross stitch. I'm Megan, Stitching Moon, and this is Flosstube number 31. So, yeah, I was not planning on being able to film today, so this is a last minute kind of video, which I'm glad because otherwise it would have been a lot because I also want to do a whip parade at the end of the year. And I would have to squeeze them both in together, so I had this opportunity last minute. My morning opened up, so I was like, all right, let's film. So it's a little thrown together, and I haven't had my coffee yet, and it's 11 in the morning, so I will be sipping that throughout this. Yeah, so today I just want to show you, I have some little FFOs, and I have my whips, and I have plans. Let's talk plans for 2023. I always think that's super interesting when people talk about that. Tentative plans we'll talk about. And I have some haul or requirements and also a giveaway at the end. So yeah, we will get going. I'll show you my FFOs first. And actually, because I didn't think that I would be filming, they're kind of wrapped up already. So I have to unwrap them. And there's tissue paper crinkling coming up. But they are ornaments that I just did this month quickly. They were really quick to stitch up for the holidays. This one is a little snowbird. I added the date myself. And this was a pattern from the Little Stitcher Shop on Etsy. And I got it for free actually, because when I had bought another thing from the shop, they charged, because I'm living in Norway, they charged a lot of tax, which she noticed and was like, hey, I'll send you this free pattern. So that was really sweet. And it's a little bigger than for regular like tree ornaments. I kind of wanted it to be smaller, but I had this 14 count. I have a bunch of 14 count red Ada, so I'm planning on using that for Christmas presents. So yeah, it's a little bigger, but that's all right. And then I put this blue ribbon on. Maybe we'll just use it as like a wall hanging. I'll get out of the way, maybe it'll focus. It's got like a little sparkle around it. And that I glued with a glue gun to the outside and the same ribbon on the top. And I'm not great, and I don't like fully finishing, but I saw tutorials on YouTube, just like, and also one that I read in a different ornament I finished last year about how to like put felt on the back. So just cut out the felt and I just glued that like on the inside of this wood. Yep, so simple. Maybe took a couple days to stitch. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this back up. Yeah, so at least I'm glad I got this time to film, because otherwise, well, this one you could have seen because it's here, and one other, but I'm gifting one, so you might not have been able to see them all. And the other two ornaments, oh, I'm excited about them. They're super cute. They were also a free pattern that I got with another pattern that I bought from the Prairie Schooler. And they were two. And they happen to be a perfect size for an ornament on 22 count fabric. This is the perfect size that I like for ornaments. And now I'm doing these, I'm giving them to two different, well, my daughter and her grandma, my mother-in-law, for Christmas, because they're kind of a pair. And I added the words and the date. So cute, rockin' and rollin'. And I showed my daughter, she's like 2.5, the patterns. I was like, oh, which one do you like better? Because at first I was gonna give her the rocking horse just because I like it and it's cute. Oh, well, a rocking goat, I think it is. It's a goat. And she also likes the Billy Goat scruff. So I thought she would like that, but I showed her the pattern. I'm like, what do you want? And she's like, the sheep. And then just in case I asked her again another day, and she's like, the sheep. So she gets the sheep, and her grandmother gets the other one. So yeah, I'm excited about those. Now these I finished a little bit in 2 different ways. This is like the same one I did for the other one on the back, where I had the felt wrapped around, and I was like, well, that's kind of ugly. I don't know. But then, so I tried a different way that I also saw on YouTube, where you put the felt directly on, glue it on like the back without like pushing it in on the sides. But I don't actually like that either. I like the other one better. It's probably just because I'm a messy finisher. Now this one too, I bought these in the stores in Norway, and they don't have too many options. Originally, this was supposed to hang like this, which obviously wouldn't have fit. And there was like a hanger. You can kind of, I don't know if you can see the hole for that I just took out. And I just had to like attach this ribbon before I like popped it on the pattern so it stayed. So it works, but like I do plan on making ornaments every year now for more people, I think, like more of my family, because they're really quick. And but I realize I'm gonna have to stock up on frames like this in the size. Like I couldn't find the same size that I got in the US here in Norway. And I even ordered some online that were way too big. I don't know what I'm gonna do with those, but so I think what I'm gonna have to do during the year is order a bunch of them from the US. They're also a lot cheaper there, to send to my mom to eventually bring over here when she comes. So I have like, because you know, if every year I do a bunch of ornaments, I'm gonna need a lot of these. And I know there are ways you can finish them without the hoops, which I'll probably eventually have to learn because hoops can get expensive. I'll have to look up somehow to do that. I know there are ways. But again, I'm a very messy finisher, and this seems to be the neatest way. Okay, just wrap these up. Make sure they go in the right bags. Tissue paper. One more. Last one I have to wrap up. Okay, put it back in. Okay, yay! Some FFOs. I feel accomplished. And coffee time. That was a loud slurp. I don't know if you heard that, but anyway, on to my whips, works in progress. Temperature tree, my daily piece from Stitchin' Mommy on Etsy. And here we are. So, yeah, December has been the coldest month of the year by far. It's definitely a lot colder than the January and February earlier this year. The darkest colors are the coldest colors that I've had all year are here. So we have, this one is the coldest color, and that was like a high of, in Celsius, around -7, -8, which is like 12, 11 Fahrenheit. So it got cold. But then all of a sudden, and it was cold for a couple weeks, and then it warmed up yesterday, and we got snow, a pretty good amount of snow, maybe 6 inches. And that was yesterday, the little green. And that was a high of 40 degrees Fahrenheit, or like 4.5 Celsius. And all the little dots are the holes where there's snow, so I'm gonna fill those in at the end with white, maybe a little sparkle in there too. And I also have to add, the date, and also a little temperature key, I think. Now, I'm not planning on doing another temperature stitch next year. I kind of need a break from that little daily thing. But there is a new one that Sarah, Stitchin' Mommy, released, which is the temperature Quaker, which I really, really like. I like that a lot. And you don't have to stitch any like border or tree trunk or anything else. It's just the daily one, and it looks really nice. But I need a break from it. So I will do that one eventually. I was thinking maybe every 5 years to do one, but maybe every other year. We'll see. I think it's going to be a cold winter this year, though. Okay, so I mostly, well, December is a weird month for stitching because I do the ornaments and I do a lot of Christmas, even though I get kind of tired of it because I don't just like stitching on Christmas. So I did a few other things too. And I did not get as far as I wanted on my Christmas things, obviously. But this one is Advent Animals. Oh, I almost showed you the pattern. It is a free pattern, so I probably could, but it's Brooks Books that you can find free on their website. There is all the 25 animals for Advent, and this is the one I'm on now, Merry Mouse, number 3. I thought it'd be like at 5 by now. But yeah, they only take maybe like 3 days to do. Yeah, maybe a little less if I had a lot of stitching time, but I did finish one. It's like another little finish. Peter Polar Bear. I think you saw Katie Kitty last time, the first one, but this time I finished Peter Polar Bear. He's so cute. I heart Coco. Yeah, they are really fun to do, but sometimes I just feel like I need something else. So I did 2 days so far on Merry Mouse, including like half of the border. And I need just probably one more day, honestly, to finish her. And I think I'll just go ahead and finish her tonight. So I might have 4 by the end of the month. We'll see. It depends. But yeah, she's cute. Not my favorite. I think so far my favorite is Peter Polar Bear. I like the colors though in Katie Kitty. But yeah, it's on the called for, which is, oh, it's right here. Joblin Babbling Brook, 28 count, hand-dyed fabric. So I would like to finish this relatively soon because I want it to be, you know, something the family can enjoy. Okay. And then my other Christmas stitching I was supposed to focus on way more than I have. Okay, the tablecloth, the Heirloom family tablecloth, that if you've seen my channel, you know it was my husband's great-grandmother who started it 20 years ago and then passed away. She was 93 when she started it, but she did quite a bit, but she didn't get to finish it, so it came to me. And the reason, well, it's different than anything I've stitched. It's using like a full strand of wool. It is still DMC, but the reason now why it's so frustrating to me is because I made mistakes, like I think pretty significant, that I've had to rip out like already this month quite a bit, and then I thought it was right. I counted everything, but I think something somewhere down in the base is like messed up because I think she's bending over this lady way too much. Like she is supposed to be bending down to feed this deer over here, but I think I made her kind of hunchbacked. So that really discouraged me. I got really frustrated. So I don't want to do it, but I'm like, okay, I will start over by the deer and see if I can work my way over, and maybe that will help me figure out what I need to do. Maybe I have to rip the whole thing out. I don't know, of the lady. I can't really show you the picture because it's just a pattern. Now I realized finally that this is the deer's ear, the other deer. So I'm hoping that lines up because I'm starting this deer, that's the butt. You can see the legs down underneath. And so I'm being really careful this time to hopefully stitch at least this deer right, because I'm pretty sure this deer is mostly right. It looks good anyway. And then go from there. So that's my plan. I'll pick up from there and work my deer over and hope that I'm not too bad. I hope. Because I think I'm going to run out of floss because I have the whole other side of the tablecloth to do this exact same thing. Plus, once I'm done this little scene, there's a little border like that comes up here and it's both sides. And it already doesn't come with this gold. I don't really know what it is. This gold color that's not in the kit that I got because it was already opened and started, but I just am hoping I can still order these flosses. I'm sure I can, but I might have to contact the company. I don't know. So yeah, that's why I just don't feel like working on it, because it makes me anxious every time, because it's like this special family thing that I'm messing up. Yeah, so there's that. But so my plan was to first work on it like every other day. That definitely didn't happen. And then I was like, well, we're supposed to go to my husband's grandparents' house for Christmas for a week. And they live out on an island, and it's like a few hours away. So I was like, well, I'll bring it there. I'll stitch on it there most of the time I'm there, because that would be nice, because his grandma is there and see me working on it. And that would give me like a good week or so. However, we were supposed to leave tomorrow, Tuesday, which is why this morning, I was supposed to be packing and getting ready and all that stuff. But we found out their water pipe, one of their pipes froze, so they have no water. So that we can't leave tomorrow because they won't have any by then, and they might have it back by Wednesday, but they aren't sure. And if not, then we won't be able to go there. They'll have to come here. And we don't have a Christmas tree. That would be so sad if we don't have a Christmas tree on Christmas. Because, we go there and they have it and everything. So hopefully everything works out. Yeah, stay tuned. But if not, I still definitely have to work on this. Like, oh, I do. Yeah, it's not because I don't like it. It's just because this mistakes are really, like, making me nervous. Oh, yeah. I have this big needle I gotta put back in so I don't lose it. Okay. Now, we go on to full coverage, because I was stitching on these little ones and I was like, I really want my full coverage back. I miss it. The whole year I've been doing something every other day on full coverage. Coffee break. And if you've been following me, you know that I was so close to a Q-snap finish on my Heaven and Earth design Together by Jim Warren. Working up in the top left corner. And I did it! I finished my Q-snap, and it feels like a real finish. Kind of looks the same as last time just because there's nothing new, but I finished it. It's a square. Yay! And it looks so good. I love just the different changes and colors in the sky. And I do have some oranges and browns from where you're going to start to see some of the sun, like, light coming up. And let's see, from last time I did 1,213 stitches. It's got 39,175 total and 12.64%. And I was like doing these and these, but I was like, that's way too close to the edge. What am I doing? But now it's not going to be a focus anymore for a while because I've finished the Q-snap, so I have to move on to my next full coverage to focus on for a Q-snap finish. It doesn't mean it won't come out, because I'm going to be doing, I'll talk about my plans, but I still have this as part of my random picker for projects I do when I do them. So it could come up, it could not, it could. So we'll see. Yeah, and this is on 25 count even weave, or the easy guide, and 1/1 full cross. Yeah, proud of that one. And actually it's about a year for that Q-snap finish, because I started it right around the new year, a little before, or maybe December, around there. I'll let you know my whip rate, I think. Okay, the last one I worked on was another full coverage, which is going to be my next full coverage focus for a Q-snap finish. It's San Fran, large version by Artisy, and David McLean is the artist. And this, as soon as I saw it when it came out, I just needed it. I love it. It's so pretty. So this one is going a lot quicker because it's 10 stitch. Love it. And already you're seeing a lot of things coming in. I'm in the buildings already. That's fun. So yeah, and then this is the shape of another building. And the camera isn't quite picking up the colors like you can in person. Like it looks a lot more colorful in person for sure. Never quite looks the same, but it looks really, really good in person. And there is a lot of confetti in the building so far. I've gone through tons of color changes, but it's okay since I'm doing it whenever I don't know, for this, it seems whenever I do 10 stitch, instead of just parking like I did in my together piece, I do like a diagonal style and then park. But if the row that I'm doing is like goes into the next one, I'll do that. But this one, just like I did in my Villa Lorna, I'll take whatever color is next in the diagonal, like a 10 by 10 diagonal, and I'll stitch that in the diagonal, but also I'll go outside wherever it is to just so I can finish up the thread, unless there's only like a few stitches and the next one's like way far away, then I'll just cut it off and end the thread. But that's how I do this one, and it's also 25 count easy guide, which is my go-to, and 2/1 10 stitch, and that is going to be my new go-to for full coverages. I love it. I can't tell a difference, and it's so fast. I love it so much. So yeah, Sanford. There, those were my whips. Now let's talk about tentative plans. I didn't quite have the time I wanted to like really flesh these out, but they're tentative. They may change just based on how it goes, because you know, I want to work on so many things. I have new starts planned. I want to finish everything at the same time. It's bad. Ugh. It is, like, you know, it's our stitching dilemma, but I do want to have more focuses, like get more things done next year. I'm not like limiting my new starts, but I am limiting my spending because my New Year's resolution is not to spend money on cross stitch. However, there are exceptions like gift money, which tends to come at the end of the year because I have birthday and Christmas at the end of the year. But I could ask for some things like, say, for Mother's Day or, you know, things like that. Also, because I have some money from this year, you know, I used all my birthday money, but Christmas, I'll have some, and I want to save like a certain amount, not spend it now, but like save that as like an account that I can use throughout the year. So if something comes up, which you know it will, that I really need that moment, I can use that money. So, wish me luck. I told my husband about this, which he was very happy about this resolution. So he'll have to, you know, I already told him, so I have to kind of be accountable. Yeah, I mean, I have and another exception is if I'm already working on something and I run out of floss, or I need more floss for that thing that I'm working on, then I can get that. So that's my exception, but that's gonna be a lot different than this year because I spent so much this year. But yeah, I want to do that because it's just, there's no need for me to spend anymore. I have a lifetime already. So then I'm not going to limit my starts, but it's not going to be as many as this year because I was doing new moon, new start. So one start a month, plus I had a couple others. I do have one more new moon, new start in December. I think December 23rd, but if I'm not here, then I'll wait till I get back to start it. And that's actually going to be Kaylee's pattern, Kaylee 10 Stitch Nomies, which she gifted me like a year ago. So I'm finally going to start it. I just have to pick out the fabric, but I have all the floss. So I don't have a picture of it now, but I'm sure you've probably seen it. There are some other people stitching it, and it's a cute pattern for winter. So I'm going to start that one. And then I do have a New Year start. I'm not sure exactly which one it'll be yet. Probably one that I'm going to show you. And then I do have, well, two that I'm going to show you are going to be new starts next year. And then I think I have a couple others planned. So, but that's okay because I already have them kitted up. So I don't have to buy things, hopefully. But yeah, as far as rotation, I liked having the focus of the full coverage. Like I was really good at focusing on a full coverage every other day, pretty much. And I had also finished my Halloween Quaker, which I was doing the 13th and 31st of every month, and that I was able to finish by the end of the year. So I liked that, and I see like even just a little progress like regularly gets you pretty far. So I want to see more of that, not just on my full coverages, but I also really like having a surprise like now and then where it's just a random thing that I pick up. And that gets me through like different things that I can work on throughout the year and not just have focuses. So the other thing, like I said, I do want to make progress on Advent animals because I do want to have that done eventually for, you know, my daughter to enjoy on Christmas and all of that. So here's my tentative rotation. Definitely could change because it's going to mean a lot less focus on my full coverages. But what I want to do is, as for my other focus, I think I'm going to go through my oldest whip, like start with my oldest whips and focus on them till they're finished, or that one till they're finished, and work my way like up the list. And the others, just like the new ones, I can start them, but they just kind of have to wait their turn. So I'm thinking of doing that. And that's kind of like Suki, the brown-eyed stitcher, has done. She'd pick like her oldest whip and finish and work on that until it's done, and then throw in some other things as well. So my oldest whip is actually Queen of Silk, which is a kit that you've seen. A lot of people love that one. So that would be really fun to focus on. You'll see it in my whip parade at some point too. But that, I think, so I'd want to okay, let's see how I can explain this. It might be like 6 day to a week rotation. So day one, I'll work on my full coverage one that I'm going to work on like for the Q-snap. So like the San Fran one. So I'll work on that day one. Day two, I'll work on my oldest whip, Queen of Silk. Day three would be a random one that I just like pick randomly. And days like 4 through 6 or 7 would be the Advent animal, like finish an Advent animal in one go, or like days in a row. So that would probably take me to a week or so, which means I'll only touch my full coverage like 4 times a month, which is way, way less because I was doing like, 15 days a month last year or this year. So I don't know if I'll like that or not, but I'm going to try because it'll help me focus on more things. I'll actually be able to get the Advent animals done, I think, if I stick to that. Yeah, because if that might be 4 a month, would it? 3 to 4 a month. And I only have, after I finish the mouse one, I might finish, who knows, one more this month. Then I'll have like, say 20 more to go. So yeah, I could do that in like half a year, or not even, like even less. So that'd be cool if I finished that up. And then I could give more, I would just have a 3-day rotation after that finished. I would do the full coverage, the oldest whip, and a random, and work through that, which I think would be fun. It'd be nice to get the Advent animals like off my list. Because then I would probably need half the year to like FFO it. Yeah, I really don't enjoy that at all. So that is my tentative 2023 plan. Yep, I'll do the end of year whip parade. I'll need like a day probably to get that ready, just to get all my whips together and do that, but that'll be really fun. And what else? Now I think I just have some haul and a giveaway. Coffee first. Oh man, it's starting to get cold. This is a gingerbread coffee. We have an espresso machine, so the holidays, they have all these cool flavors. They have gingerbread and my favorite, pumpkin spice coffee. It's so good. Okay. Now, yeah, I did mention in my other videos that I had ordered, I got the collection. If you know Blackbird Designs, they have a magical mystery tour collection of beetles patterns, like from Beatles songs. And I wanted the whole collection, so I got them all, but then I couldn't get, for a while, the out-of-print one, Octopus's Garden. And it's actually one of my favorites of them, too. I think, well, I like the Yellow Submarine, Strawberry Fields, and this one the best. Probably this one the best. But it was out of print, so I was on the Facebook group of like rare charts, I don't know, something like that, or buy and sell, one of those. And I asked if anyone had it, and somebody had messaged me letting me know they got theirs at Clare's Stitching Post, which is a stitching shop in Ohio. And I was like, well, that's a little far. It's not local to me at all, but I ended up calling just to see if they had it in, and she did. And just a typical regular, not expensive, like out of print price. So I had her send that to my family in the States so that I could eventually get it. So she did that, but after quite a while, nothing had come. So I reached out to her. She sent another one. And then all of a sudden they came at the same time. So I had 2 copies. So I called her, asked her if she'd want me to send it back, or I could do a giveaway on my channel for the other one and let her know. Yeah, I'll link her below. She has obviously lots and lots of patterns, and she said she has amazing fabric and flosses, like all the specialty flosses you could imagine. So all you have to do is email. They actually don't have a website. They're on Facebook. But she said the best way to get in touch with her is email, and she can like cut you fabric, flosses, anything. Very sweet lady. And I will link her, the name of her store, and her email below. So definitely reach out if you are looking for fabric, and say, especially if you don't have a local needle shop, which I don't even think I did necessarily in New England. I think there is one, but it was like still a really, really far drive from where I lived. So if you don't, she'll ship, obviously, to, in the US at least. I don't know. I didn't ever ship it to Norway because I knew that would be pretty expensive. But she'll ship in the US. So definitely get in touch with her. And here it is. Octopus's Garden. It's so, so cute. I love the little octopus. And every time I see this pattern, I get this song stuck in my head for days. So this is going to be stuck in my head. But yeah, I will. Now, the only thing, if you want to enter the giveaway, the only thing is I ask, because I'm living in Norway, shipping gets really expensive. So if it does end up being over $10 US dollars to ship to where you are, I would just ask that you pay half with me. So if you're willing to do that, you can enter the giveaway. You can just use the word octopus in your comments and be 18. Don't use the word giveaway or anything like that. And I will do that. Maybe well, if my whip parade is like only in a week, maybe I'll wait till my following video. Just get your comment in quick. I might announce the giveaway in my whip parade, which will probably be the last week of December. What's today? Today's the 19th, so it might only be a week and a half. So make sure you get your comment in. Yeah, so yay, Octopus Garden. Now kind of on the same lines of this, because I like doing giveaways, and I might not be able to do any more of like the physical ones just because of shipping prices here. And I've given so much money to the US, or not the US, to the post office here in Norway, because, and not just on giveaways, but I've been ordering things using my birthday money. And of course I can't get a lot of things here. So I order from, say, even England, in the UK. And if it's over like 350 Norwegian kroner is around 35 US dollars. So if it's over that, including shipping and tax, then you can get it here without paying toll. However, there was a few things that, like one thing, I had ordered it at checkout. It was definitely under or right at that amount or a little bit under. And it was supposed to be tax included, but that might have just been for the country it was in, because they added on another tax when it came in and then told me for that. And it's like it was like 40% of what the actual thing was. So I am like, and this happened like 3 times. So I am just spending way too much money on my, like using my gift money on that. So that's really frustrating. And I have a gift card to a place in the UK that I have to pay shipping on, and if it's over that amount, tax on as well. Now, because of that, I'm debating if I should set up buy me a coffee link. I know a lot of other Flosstubers have that, and it's totally optional. No need to do it, but it's just like there if anyone wants to donate to the channel or anything like that. So I have to look into how to do that, but I might set that up. But again, no obligation if I do that at all, of course. And I don't want to like monetize the channel because it like interrupts with ads, and I don't want to, I don't know, I'd rather do like an optional buy me a coffee link. So I'm gonna look into that. If you see that there the next time, don't like feel obligated at all. But yeah, so let me know if you're willing to pay half on shipping, only if it's over $10. If it's like that or under, I'll just do that. So yeah, that's that one. I only have a couple other pieces of things that I got. This one is so exciting because it's gonna be, it might be my New Year, New Start. I've been having this and kitting it up, trying to kit it up for a while. So this isn't the haul, but I'm gonna show you the pattern first that I've had for like a while. Where is that it? Maybe it's here. Yeah, it's the Blue Flower Moonlight sampler, and I got this because of the little poem there. I don't know if you can read it, but it says, "Though my soul may set in darkness, it will rise in perfect light. I have loved the stars too fondly to be fearful of the night." I love that sentiment. Now, when I first was kitting this up, I saw like the DMC, and then I did see the fancy flosses, but for some reason I like didn't think, I don't know, I just didn't get them for some reason. My mind just went blank and I just got the DMC. And then I realized, oh no, I need all this other fancy floss for it. So I finally ended up ordering them from Lakeside Needlecraft, which I might have to pay tax on that as well. But it hasn't come yet, even though it's been quite a while. So I might have to get in touch with them. But I had like 2 or 3 fabrics like I wanted to use on this, and then I ended up looking at it and looking at the flosses, and I didn't like it, and then I couldn't really find anything that I was looking for, just that I saw online. So I ended up reaching out to Kaylee Tent Stitch again, and I asked her, like I showed her the pattern. I didn't want that brownish color, I wanted more of like a night sky. So I'm like, is there anything, because she does fabric and they're beautiful. So I was like, well, is there anything you could do with this? She's like, oh yeah. So she made me a fabric, and I love it. It is perfect for this. And I think it's 32 count, but it's hand dyed, so it's smaller really. But oh, it's so pretty. She even did like paint strokes to make it like clouds. Oh, it's so pretty. And watch, I'll show you the flosses that I do have look amazing on it. The bright colors, oh, they're gonna look awesome. So, okay, let's see. Doesn't that look good? Oh, it's gonna be so pretty. I love it. So thank you, Kaylee, it's perfect. And she had sent me also a little needle minder and card and some stickers. I'll show you. Let's put this back. She's just starting to make needle minders. She is like a woman of all cross-stitch talents, really. She makes bags, she makes fabric, she makes patterns. She makes now needle minders. There's probably other things she makes that I'm forgetting. But oh, look at this too. I think it's like a little business card on fabric. Isn't that so cute? Very creative. And this is a stamp as a needle minder. Isn't that cool? love it. So I'm going to use that for this project. And little stickers, and she picked them out like just for me because the scream, this is one of my projects, my cross stitch projects, and it's a little sticker of that. Oh, it's going in and out, but yeah, just lots of different little stickers. So thank you, Kaylee, that was so sweet. Yeah. So, might be New Year, New Start. Okay, next. Other fabric that I got that is also going to be a New Year, or not New Year, but a next year start. It's going to be this long dog sampler. My first long dog sampler, Ragnarok. And I got it because it's it's like Norse mythology. And I'm living in Norway, so very cool. And what I like about this too is on the website where you get this pattern, it has a huge like story explanation about like the Norse mythology and why there are certain things in here like they are. There's even like red herrings in here that have nothing to do with like Ragnarok or Norse mythology, because part of Norse mythology, it's like sneaky. There's like a sneaky god in there, and so it's kind of representing that, where there's just random things in there as well. So this, I know Amber, Rogue Mama Stitcher, wants to start this as well. She got it after she saw my pattern parade and really liked it. And then also Nana from the Crafty Shield Maiden, who has a Flosstube, is living in Norway, or she is Norwegian. So I knew she was gonna also on a no-buy thing. So it was her birthday and I bought this pattern for her so she could start it with us. I might start it like the 17th of May, which is Norway's Independence Day. So I think that would be nice. And I got, oh, I love the fabric. The color I picked, I am going to do it in monochrome, and I picked color 816. And I got a crap ton of them. So yeah, this red Viking color, because their mythology is very, very bloody. And I got the fabric from XG Design in hazelnut. I'll show you the fabric too, but like, I love how this go together so much. And it's also a 32 count. And I think the size I got is a little too big because it was the size it came in, I believe. Because this is, I think it's not going to be this big on 32 count. Like, it can't be. And I think the window is making the splotches look a little more like pop than they actually are. They are like very prominent, but they're not as dark as what they're looking like on the camera. But I love this fabric, and oh, it's gonna look really good. But yeah, the window, or the lighting isn't quite picking it up as much, but yeah, I'm excited about that. I even asked my husband like what color I should do, and he's like red, like blood red. I didn't quite go with the red he thought, which is like bright red. I thought this one was a little nicer. So, what else is that? Oh, also I got a lot of just DMC. I'm not going to show you that, for my other giant project I'm going to be starting in February, which I showed in my pattern parade. I didn't actually bring it down for this, but it's Home in the Mountains from Golden Kites, and it's the Rivendell scene from Lord of the Rings, and it is so gorgeous. Every time I look at it, I'm just like, oh, I love it. And it's gonna be my biggest project yet, and it's got way more colors than I've ever used. It's like 200 something, so it's like a max color. And I looked, it has 70 blends, and then, you know, a crap ton of regular colors. So I have no idea how I'm going to store this or kit this. Like, I've been looking all over YouTube for how people store their floss for a really kit up big projects like that with a lot of colors. And a lot of people generously have been sharing what they do lately on Flosstube, so that's been really helpful. I don't know. I keep buying floss for all these big projects that I'm like, I'm probably buying way too much and way more than I need. But I'm not at the point yet where I want to like put them all together in a master set. One, because I think that's annoying. If you saw my last video, you've seen I have like all my extra floss, like my stash floss, on these 2 hangers on rings, and that would be a nightmare to like bring to every project and like just pull out. Like that would just drive me nuts. So I can't do that. But that's another reason why I want to finish a lot of things so I can free up the flosses that I have. I don't know how that's gonna work. Probably in like a few years. Like if I finish a couple full coverages, I'll have quite a bit of stash that I don't have to buy so much. I don't know how that's gonna work. I'm thinking what I might do for the blends is, I think I have 2 of the Paco floss organizers free that I can use, where you write the symbol on, and they have 50 flosses I think you can do for each. So I have 100 spots available. So what I might do is use the blends to store on that, where like, of course I don't have one to show you, but it has like places, like it's like a little rectangle, and on this side it has places to hang thread, on this side it has places to hang thread. I might actually need 3 to do this, but I might have like the blends, like the symbol in the middle, and like one color you need on one side, one color you need on the other side. But if I do that, that's only going to be, no. If I have 2 of them, it's going to be 100, so I'll have enough to do all 70 blends on there. So I think that's how might be how I store my blends for that. I don't know. I need to take a day off of work and just kit that up. And I bought the ones that I didn't have in my stash, and I did have a lot that I needed in my stash. I'm just hoping, so when I originally got all these old DMCs, like from thrift shops and things, I matched them with the color card to make sure they still were the same color, because I know dye lots can change or they can fade, and some of them did not match, so I had to like put those to the side. But the ones that do match, I have in my stash, but I'm not quite confident yet that they do. I want to double check that before I use them on this big, beautiful project. So it's going to take me a long, long time to get this up, but we'll get there. Okay. I'm like dizzy from talking. I need my coffee. So I think that is all. Yeah. Not really much life updates, except it's, the busy holiday season, and there's also a ton of birthdays in my family this time. So it's a lot. And I always like plan birthday stuff like last minute. Like I'm pretty good about Christmas, but then I forget about the birthdays. Like actually today is my sister's birthday, and my husband's is the day after New Year's. My mom's is the day after that. Her husband's is the week after that. It's a lot. So I've now planned my husband's. Now I have to do my mom. And being over here, it's like, I can't wait this long because things take forever to get there. Yeah, you know how it goes. But I will be back, I hope. I might have to take a day off for that too, for my end of the year wet parade. And that'll be fun. So stay tuned for that. And thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, and then I'll see you later.